So, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Touchline Facts. First and foremost, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And today we're going to be discussing a topic, a new little series. Maybe I might start of discussing, a recent footballer that is quite trendy or whatever, recent topic kind of thing, and discussing what's going on with them and things like that, why their recent form and da 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 da. And today we're going to start off with the first episode of it of Cole Minerals Palmer and what's going on with him recently, because he seems to be going through his first run or first cursed bit of form, to be honest with you. First bit of form where in his career, since he's really started playing consistently at Chelsea, where nothing's going his way. You know what I mean? He can't even stink out a little assist here. He can't even stink out, last season, he'd play a 5-yard pass and get an assist from me. He'd get the most inevitable GA gene that, you've seen probably since Mohamed Salah. He got that last season. It's just the last, I want to say about 7 to 9 games, something like that. He's just gone through a massive bad patch where nothing's going right. He even got a penalty, I believe, against Leicester, and he missed it. So just nothing seems to be going his way. And I want to understand, why is that? Is that his first run of cursed form? Is maybe the hype and, being talked about as being one of the best players, and not only the league, but also one of the best players in the world, one of England's best players, the goal in the Euros final, is it all getting to his head? Is he starting to go down a stupid path, a wrong path? We don't know. Let's discuss. So, as I said, last 7 to 9 games, Cole Palmer has been quite poor. But if you actually look at his performances all season, he's been very inconsistent. Yes, he's got GA, but a lot of his GA, I mean, he got 4 GA, I think, or maybe it might have even been 5 GA in one game against Wolves. And then I think he got 4 against, he got 4 against Brighton. So that's 9 GA. And I think he's probably only got about 20 in the league. That's 9 GA already in 2 games. I imagine there's a few others as well. In the big games, people have always spoken about him, in big away games. He's never turned up. Yeah, I mean, he did score against us against Old Trafford last season. He has turned up against Spurs, but no one really cares about Spurs. They're trash, aren't they? And Emirates, I don't think he's even played there. He hasn't even bothered to turn up, quite literally. Anfield, again, he played there. He didn't play well. Etihad, I mean, I'm not really sure. I remember, he did play there last year, didn't he? He did play there last year. But again, these big games, some of these big games, he's not turned up in that people think on. That's what they've always been on. But even then, recently, it's the small games, the Southamptons, the Leicesters, the Ipswiches, he's not been turning up. And this season, yeah, his performances, in my opinion, have dropped drastically since last season. And I want to know what you lot want to think. What you lot think? I'm sorry, I'm butchering my words here, but I want to know what you lot think. What do you lot think? Do you think maybe the things are getting to his head? Is it just a cursed run of form? Is it the manager? Is it because I've seen some Chelsea fans blame the system? They're blaming the Maresca and the way that he's using him and the players around him. And I do think that is definitely, eventually, that does have an impact on a player. Do you know what I'm saying? A number 10 is very reliant on strikers and movement from their wingers and their forwards, so they can actually find the passes. And you've seen how many the pass against Newcastle on the counter attack, half turn, banged it. Brilliant pass, by the way, and Neto's the runner, and he's got Jackson as the other runner. So it's sort of, they carved open Newcastle with one pass because he actually had runners. I feel like that is also one thing that has definitely affected, the number 10. Personally, I always thought that he was better on the right wing. I think in the big games, you should use Cole Palmer on the right wing. I personally think that, because in the big games, you don't have much of the ball. So you need him to be a bit more efficient and a bit closer to goal rather than trying to dictate the game, because the game can bypass him in the big games. Because, as I say, it's only natural. He has less of the touches, less of the ball. And even when he does, he has less time and less space. He's up against strong physical midfielders. Whereas against, if he's playing on the right, he has probably does have less touches as well. But he's closer to the goal and he's only got one man to get past. Do you know what I'm saying? Sort of thing. And that's what I always thought personally. He was better on the right wing, but people always said he was better on the 10. I mean, that's up to them. I mean, I think in the big games, you should play him on the right wing, especially when, you've got the likes of Neto, Sancho, Madueke, who have all not really been performing in the big games. I think you should probably put your best player in that position, in my personal opinion. But another topic that's been going on recently, I've saw CB talk about this. Listen, I'm not, I mean, we've all seen likes of this happen to a lot of players. Do you know what I'm saying? With Cole Palmer, he went out with Lowski. I want to say Sancho was there, but Lowski, Vibes, Cartel, and whilst he was going for a bad run of form, Chelsea were like 2-9 or something like that. So it was a bit of a stupid decision. He never got any backlash from it. I mean, some people will sit there and say it's racism. I actually think there is definitely a bit about that, because, I mean, I'm not one to play the race card, but, I mean, we all know if that was certain other players, whilst their team's going through bad runs of forms, there's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 articles about it. I didn't see barely any articles cussing Palmer. Not that maybe some people will think he shouldn't be cussed. I mean, I personally think if you're going 2-9, you should not be at partying with people who've just come out of prison, people or rappers, drill rappers, and also most importantly, you shouldn't be going out at all partying, getting drunk and pissed when you're not playing well, because we all know, as I said before, alcohol is the mother of all evil when alcohol affects your performances. And I imagine alcohol is affected his performances. So yeah, with that one, what do you lot think? Do you think that's maybe got to his head? Do you think he's now, you know what I mean, thinking he's a superstar, he's made it? Do you think that type of thing? Do you think maybe it's just a bad run of form, a cursed run of form? I don't know. I feel like I think all things are playing a part, to be honest with you. I feel like maybe he's got a bit too much of his ego. The vibes, you know, the Vibes Cartel going out partying, that's also, obviously, you know, he's a young player, so that can happen. The fact that the Maresca's not using him properly, the fact that the players and the team is not really built around him, they've not really adequately, you know, the last season they didn't really kick on, did they? They didn't really have a good window. If you actually look at their window, they didn't really have a good window. Now we actually speak about it. Do you know what I'm saying? They didn't have a good window at all. They didn't buy a proper number 9 for him. I mean, you've seen what he's done with Jackson, and no one even rates Jackson like that. And Jackson's not really a proper number 9. You've seen how he's made Jackson look actual competent in front of goal at times, and got a few assists and link up with Jackson. Imagine him with an actual proper number 9, what he can do. I do think that's played a part. And yeah, I don't know. What do you lot think? What is going on with Cole Palmer? Why has he not been great this season? Why has his performances dropped? I don't think it's because he was. I don't necessarily think it was because. I mean, I could imagine his performances dropping from last season. I will say, because last season he was just unreal. You know, you can have a little bit of a drop off. Not everyone gets better and better and better and better and better and better when you reach such a top level like Messi, Ronaldo. Do you know what I'm saying? But I feel like with him, it's just the performances have been so poor at times this season, and now the GA is dried up, so everyone is jumping on it. Everyone's calling me because he said everyone's saying this. What do you lot think? In my opinion, as I said, I've got a video out there. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to change the title. I said he was the best player in the league after the Brighton game. Yeah, I take it back. Of course I do. I take it back. I've already said Mohamed Salah is the best player in the league, or definitely the best attacker in the league. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you know you can't really compare midfielders to, you know, centre backs and But yeah, best attacker in the league. I'm not going to shame to admit that I said that Cole Palmer was. I'm not going to shame to admit everything I've said. I'm not going to take back what I said about Cole Palmer. I think he's a fucking unreal footballer. I just think his performances have been badly. I think right now, actually, I think Bruno Fernandes is on better run of form. Well, he's factually on a better run of form than him. I think he's playing better than him right now. Personally, I don't know what you lot think. That's my personal opinion. What is going on with him? As I say, is it the fact that maybe, you know, going out partying is getting to his head, and the fame and the what's it called, the hype and the pressure of being, you know, tipped to be the England's next star and all this shit, and how gassed up he's been and all that stuff, best player in the league? Is it the Chelsea system? Is it Enzo? Is it just a lack of confidence and a cursed run of form? You let me know. Subscribe if you're new, like the video, and I'm out. Peace, people. Bosh.